The orchard had whispered their deaths. It was not planted, not watered, not blessed. It grew where no seed had ever been placed, in the center of the village graveyard of Obaluma. At first it seemed a trick of the eye, a pale shoot rising from the cracked soil between the graves. But by nightfall, it had thickened. Its bark a ghostly white, its branches bare but twitching like grasping fingers. The mourners noticed it during a burial. A widow knelt by her husband's grave, her wails shaking the air. When she heard it, her own name whispered from the pale branches. She froze, trembling. The others turned, eyes wide, as the tree whispered again. Her name. Soft. Inevitable. By dawn, more had risen. Dozens. Rows of bone-white trunks, pale roots coiling from the earth, drinking deep of the dead. Each tree whispered. Not prayers, not songs, but the names of the living. One boy dared to place his ear against the bark. What he heard drove him screaming into the night. He clawed at his skin as if trying to peel his name away. His final cry was not of pain, but of recognition. The orchard had whispered his death. Bone Orchard. Obaluma was a village of strong backs and weary eyes, settled near the ruined lands where King Adetika once reigned. The elders had always forbidden burial near the forsaken ruins of the broken crown. But the graveyard had long since crept toward the cursed stones. Now, the orchard stretched across half the burial ground, its pale trees whispering at dusk. Families who came to mourn wept harder when they heard their own names drifting from the branches. Some swore they heard their children's names, though their children still breathed. No axe could buy the trunks. No flame could burn the wood. The tree stood unbroken, whispering, growing. Ebele, a young widow, refused to leave her husband's grave. She lit a fire by his mound each night, daring the orchard to speak her name again. But the whispers grew bolder. And soon, they began to speak of not just names, but dates. It was the elder priest who first realized the horror. He called the people to the square, sweat beading his brow as he told them what the trees revealed. The orchard did not whisper names at random. It called those near death. And the dates it whispered were true. Fear shattered the village. Families fled. Others tried to bargain with the trees, offering food, blood, even prayers. But still, the orchard whispered, calm, steady, merciless. Ebele's name was among them. Her date, the next new moon. Grief hardened into fury. She vowed she would not let her life be counted by branches grown from graves. That night, she armed herself with her husband's blade and walked into the orchard alone. The air grew colder with each step. The trunks glowed faintly, pale as moonlight. Whispers crawled across her skin, her name, again and again, from 100 different mouths. But beneath them was another sound. A deeper murmur. Ancient. Familiar. It was the same voice that had whispered through the crownless ruins. At the orchard's heart, a massive trunk rose, larger than the rest. Its roots split open a grave older than any living memory. And carved faintly in the stone beneath, glowing like fireflies, were the same sigils found near the broken crown of Adetika. The seal. cracked, bleeding whispers into the soil, feeding the trees with the essence of the forgotten dead. The central tree shuddered, and from its back split open a hollow like a mouth. From within, a hand of bone reached out, skeletal, endless, clawing toward Ebele. The orchard screamed her name. But she did not run. She plunged her husband's blade into the hollow. The scream that followed was not just hers, not just the orchard's, but something deeper, something chained. The trees convulsed, branches snapping, roots writhing in the soil. Ebele fell to the earth as the orchard tore itself apart, whispering its final prophecy, "The crown still remembers." When the villagers crept back at dawn, the orchard was gone. Only graves remained, their soil cracked and unsettled. Ebele's blade was found, broken, beside her husband's grave. Of Ebele herself, no trace remained. But at night, when the wind moved through the grass, some swore they still had it. Not the orchard this time. Not the dead. But a woman's voice, whispering one name over and over, her own. Moral. The dead do not rest when the earth itself is cursed, they rise as roots, and remember the living.